Says Ross. Yeah. That's the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News with Ross Abrams, Sam Champion, the rest of the Eyewitness News team. I'm Ernie Anastas. Kaiti Tong and I will be back with all the news tonight at 11 o'clock.
The news continues now with Bill Beutel and John Johnson.
And the verdict is not guilty for a Howard Beach defendant and his friends. The friends of Thomas Gucciardo let go a rousing cheer as the verdict was handed down in court. We have a live report. The incredible story of a woman who gave birth aboard a commercial airliner and is accused of leaving
Jersey town that they were moving has gotten an East Orange family in trouble. And Walter Hudson weighs in. The results are unbelievable.
We have those stories and we have more coming up in a moment on Eyewitness News.
When I asked Bill to go with me to that Jeep Eagle dealer, he started telling me what to look for in a new Jeep Cherokee. But I said, look, Bill, I already know. It offers the only full-time four-wheel drive system in its class and the most powerful engine. Plus, it's been named 4x4 of the year, again. And he said, if you know so much about it, what do you want me along for? And I said, why, Bill, somebody's got to pick out the color.
See your tri-state Jeep Eagle dealer. Jeep Eagle, the newest division of Chrysler Corporation. Style talks. Macy's designs your home with a sale you'll love. A 6-piece Oriental dining room set, $2,299. Bedding comfort at 50% savings. JVC's autofocus camcorder with power zoom, $1,099. Classic Oriental design wool rugs, $399. A 27-inch Zenith stereo TV with remote, $599. Thursday through Saturday at all Macy's.
We're Macy's, and we're a part of your life.
For under $6, you could have some hot, delicious pasta at an Italian restaurant.
Sizzler.
Or a crisp tostada at a Mexican restaurant.
Sizzler.
A seafood salad at a seafood restaurant.
Sizzler.
Or soup and salad at almost any restaurant.
Sizzler.
Or for the same money, you could get Sizzler's salad bar and have all of them. Sizzler, a fresh experience.
Connie Stevens in Every Man Needs One, tonight at midnight.
You're watching Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Bill Beutel and John Johnson. Corey MACPHERRIN has sports, Storm Field with weather, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Thomas Gucciardo of Howard Beach, Queens, has been found not guilty. Not guilty of riot and, more important, not guilty of attempted murder. Not guilty that night in Howard Beach a year and a half ago when white men chased black men and one black man was killed. The jury found Gucciardo not guilty of all charges in connection with that night in Howard Beach. We have more on the story now from Sarah Wallace, who is live in Queens. Sarah?
Well, Bill, 4 of the 5 teenagers on trial here are still awaiting a verdict from their jury. But as you said, another of those teenagers who had a separate jury, his ordeal is over, and tonight 18-year-old Thomas Gucciardo is a very happy young man.
How do I feel? I feel excited.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I'm going to go celebrate, and then I'm going to go back to school.
Seconds before, in a courtroom packed with his family and friends, Gucciardo, flanked by his attorney, who is also his uncle, heard a jury clear him of all charges stemming from an assault against 3 blacks in December of 1986.
Mr. Foreman, on the first count of the indictment, attempted murder in the 2nd degree. What is the verdict of the jury?
Not guilty.
Under the 2nd count of the indictment, assault in the 1st degree. What is the verdict?
Gucciardo had faced the most serious charges for allegedly beating one of the 3 blacks, Cedric Sandiford, with a tree limb. In the first Howard Beach trial last fall, 3 white teenagers were convicted of first-degree assault for beating Cedric Sandiford, but acquitted of attempted murder and first-degree riot. Are you satisfied with this verdict or disappointed?
I'm satisfied with this verdict.
But the mother of the man killed in Howard Beach that same night was not satisfied.
The justice was not being done. And for my family, and as I say again, you call this justice?
4 other teenagers here, charged only with first-degree riot, are still waiting for a verdict from a separate jury. That jury is now in its 2nd day of deliberations.
When they came out and not guilty for riot in the 1st and 2nd, I was very happy, but I just hope my jury, our jury for this case, sees it the same way that his jury did and comes out with a not guilty verdict. I wish them the best of luck.
What do you do now?
What do I do now?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go home for the first time in a year and a half, a free man.
Well, while Thomas Cucciardo will be celebrating tonight in Howard Beach, it will be another night of uncertainty for the 4 remaining teenagers. We had just been told that their jury has decided to go home for the night. They will resume their deliberations tomorrow morning. Reporting live from State Supreme Court in Queens, Sarah Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sarah. Thomas Cucciardo, 19 and found not guilty, went home to Howard Beach after the verdict came down. The news of his acquittal brought smiles to the faces, many of the faces in Howard Beach, Queens. In an interview in front of his home, Cucciardo said he had done nothing wrong and that the verdict gave him the greatest feeling he's ever had in his life.
What? The readbacks were the best thing.
Yeah?
Everything that they read back showed that I had nothing to do with any of the assaults. It was perfect. They asked for the right thing. They did a great job, the jury. And I could only commend them on a great job.
Thomas Cucciardo says now that he's a free man, he can get his life back on track. He says he's planning to go back to school at St. John's University.
Tonight, the shocking story of a tiny infant girl born aboard a jet bound for San Francisco from Newark and then abandoned by her mother in the plane's bathroom. Tonight, the mother, a Staten Island woman, is under arrest. Lisa Stark is standing by live in San Francisco with the story. Lisa.
Well, John, I can tell you that the woman, 24-year-old Christina Locasto, pleaded not guilty to a charge of felony child endangerment. Now, she was on the plane with her 2 small children, 2 other children, and her husband, Louis. He has not been charged with anything. Apparently, he did not even know that his wife was pregnant. At this point, we still don't know why Christina allegedly abandoned her baby, but her attorney tells us that she is filled with remorse and that she actually wants the child back. The baby girl she allegedly abandoned is in good condition. Hospital nurses have named her Elizabeth. The child was apparently born in the plane restroom before the jet ever left the ground in Newark. There, the child remained for 6 hours, hidden under the sink, until the plane landed in San Francisco.
The passengers had deplaned the aircraft. The cleaning crew was on board the aircraft. For about 20 minutes, when they entered one of the restrooms, they saw blood splattered all over the restroom and immediately heard the crying of a baby. Upon further discovery, they opened the trash receptacle, or the little cabinet that holds the paper towels that people stuff down after they wash their hands, and underneath all these paper towels was a little baby girl.
An airport doctor was the first physician to examine the child.
The infant was stained. It had blood on the infant, and the cord was not clamped, so we clamped the cord, tied the cord off with, actually with dental floss, and made sure the baby was warm, gave it some oxygen assist.
Locasto had apparently gone into the plane restroom complaining of a bad case of dysentery. The cabin crew later sealed off the bathroom during the flight after a passenger complained about the mess. Another passenger noticed Locasto looked ill after her extended stay in the restroom.
She just looked like after, you know, like if you're really sick and after you've thrown up or something, and that's how you look.
Now, bail has now been set at $50,000. Locasto is expected to post bail, and she will be allowed to go back to New York until she has to be back here to face further court appearances. As for baby Elizabeth, she'll be in the hospital for about a week. Then she'll go into a foster home. Where she ends up will be up to Child Protective Services, and that decision could take a couple of months. Lisa Stark reporting live from the San Mateo County Courthouse south of San Francisco. Back to you, Bill.
Okay, Lisa, thank you very much. And Christine Locasto, who they believe is the woman who had that baby girl in flight, lives in Staten Island. Tim Minton went to talk to some of her neighbors today. Tim is live now in Staten Island. Tim, what do they say?
Well, Bill, not too many of them say that much because it's sort of classic, almost cliche story, it appears. These people lived a very quiet life. The fact is, if you go 2 doors down in either direction, people simply didn't know them. But we know this. They did have 2 other children. The oldest is in 2nd grade. And the Locastos appear to have money. At Christina Locasto's house, fancy cars clog the driveway, and newspapers are piled up. The woman who lives next door says what happened on that airplane doesn't sound like the Locastos she's known for 2 years.
As far as I'm concerned, what am I going to say? Good people? They are good people. What else you want me to say? That's it.
I don't know. Were there any problems with them before?
Never.
How did they treat their kids?
Wonderful, as far as I'm concerned.
So when you hear a story like this...
I'm shocked.
At the nearby house where Christina Locasto's parents-in-law live, this afternoon, nobody came to the door. And at her cousin's house nearby, same story. But they did come out later after we put away the camera and left. Now, we can confirm one other piece of information. On the street where Christina Locasto lives, this morning, before the details became public, detectives from the police department went door to door, much as we did today. They apparently were able to speak to more people, though, and they may have told those people not to talk to us. We don't know that, but we do know that the door was slammed in our face a lot. That's all we know at this point about the Locastos. Live in Staten Island, Tim Minton, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Thanks very much, Tim. In other news, beaches in Staten Island remain closed today as Parks Department workers found more medical debris washed up on shore. Beaches in Brooklyn, however, did reopen. Health Department officials say a sewage spill earlier in the week, which closed Coney Island, Manhattan Beach, and Brighton Beach, is no longer a threat to health. A couple of miles of beaches on the New Jersey shore remain closed today, again because of ocean pollution. All the beaches from Asbury Park south to Avon in Monmouth County were closed to swimmers for a second day. It's the largest beach closing on the Jersey shore this summer, but environmental officials say they hope to reopen them this weekend.
Also in New Jersey, the search is now over. A fourth and final suspect has surrendered in connection with last week's shootout on the road near Mountainside. Terrence Archibald Bailey turned himself into authorities in Newark today. He and 3 others are said to have fired at police who were trying to recover stolen cars near Mountainside Friday afternoon. An officer was struck by a car. An innocent bystander was hit during the shootout, and both of them are still in the hospital.
If you're on the move in one New Jersey community, you better make sure the city knows. An East Orange family is in hot water because they didn't notify the city that they were moving. David Navarro explains.
45-year-old Lena Palmer never guessed that moving to another town in New Jersey would ever be so hard. She, like most people, thought it was as easy as loading your furniture into a van and see you later. Not if you live in her town.
It's like a nightmare. I can't get over it. You see, I don't know what it's going to end up to. See, I'm still worried.
Welcome to East Orange, New Jersey, or Checkpoint Charlie, depending on who you're talking to. Because in East Orange, the residents can't move in or move out without first obtaining a permit. It's an East Orange ordinance that Palmer thinks is the pits. And she came to court today with her lawyer to fight for what she says is her constitutional right.
We think that this ordinance violates her right to privacy, her right to travel, her right to due process. And we don't think a law like this should be on the books in any town.
Lena Palmer first found out about the law on Labor Day weekend as she was loading up boxes in her rented van to go to her new home in Irvington. The officer came up to her and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, but you can't leave our town without a permit." But Lena, who doesn't make much to begin with, had already invested $400 in a van and movers and couldn't wait till Monday when the permit office opened. So she got a ticket. And boy, what a ticket. This baby's worth $500 and up to 90 days in jail for failing to obtain a $2 permit. Lawyers for the city say the purpose for the ordinance is to help prevent criminals from loading up their trucks with stolen goods, and they stand behind the law.
Charge is moving without a permit in violation of city
Lena,
ordinance.
who now lives in Irvington, New Jersey, will have to wait till August 14th, when the judge will decide if his municipal court can determine the constitutionality of the ordinance, or if it'll have to go before a superior court. Reporting in East Orange, David Navarro, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
George Bush goes on the offense when we come back. Offense at the UN to defend the United States in the Iranian airliner tragedy.
And Walter Hudson is winning his battle of the bulge.
It's Fortune Off's July clearance and sale with savings of up to 50% and more. Every ceiling fan is on sale starting at $39.99. Every Coruscant rug is on sale starting at $299.99. Every portable fan is on sale starting at $8.99. Every cordless phone is on sale starting at $49.99. Many with famous names at Fortune Off, Westbury and Wayne.
Fortune Off, who's got it better than us?
The New York Lottery presents The New Millionaires with Alex Trebek.
This trademark bowler sits atop the head of one of the lottery's best-known winners. Stay tuned.
When Wianna Fitzgerald won $5.5 million at New York's Lotto, she had some very unusual things to say. First she said,
"I've won."
Then she said,
"Hey, I can retire."
Then she said,
"I'm going to help you buy that house." Sounds good, Mom. Toya, I'm going to send you to college. Yeah. And Jim, we're finally going on our honeymoon. That's right, babe.
Join the family. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday.
The man with the bowler is the one and only Curtis Sharp, a $5 million winner who is still working for the phone company.
Winning the lottery has been great. It has allowed me to help others.
Like the African Famine Relief Fund. Nice work, Curtis. I'm Alex Trebek, and I'll see you soon with another New Millionaire.
Some hefty users are a little rougher than others, so no wonder they put a super strong strap on the new Hefty Cinch Sack. Hefty Cinch Sack. Forget wimpy bags. Get Cinch Sack with the Hefty Strap. New super strong super cinch.
You can have a nice little nest egg, or you can save with Chase. Chase Dividend Savings. The longer you save, the higher the interest.
Vice President George Bush, in what some say was an opportunity to do his campaign for the presidency some good, came to the United Nations today to debate the American case over the downing of an Iranian jetliner by an American warship.
Mr. Vice President, is this political? Mr. Vice President.
It has to do with the fundamental foreign policy interests of the United States of America.
It was an unusual diplomatic move having the Vice President and not the Secretary of State or the American ambassador to the UN debate the issue of the downed Iranian jetliner before the UN Security Council today. The Council had convened at the request of Iran, who is calling on the organization to condemn the United States warship Vincennes attack on the civilian passenger jetliner that killed 290 people over the Persian Gulf on July 3rd.
Not only the American forces initiated the hostilities, but also they were engaged in a series of premeditated acts of aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran.
While Iran was calling the American downing of the jetliner an unprovoked wanton attack, Vice President George Bush blamed Iran for continuing the Iran-Iraq war and the hostilities in the Gulf.
The victims of Iran 655 are only the most recent casualties of a brutal and a senseless war that has brought immense pain and suffering to the people of both sides.
Iran, which has essentially boycotted the UN Security Council since 1980 over what Iran calls bias against Iran, is evidently having difficulty in lining up the 9 necessary votes in the 15-member Security Council for a vote of condemnation against the United States. Do you believe that the Security Council will vote with Iran to condemn the United States shooting down of the Iranian Airbus?
I doubt it very much. I doubt it very much. I don't think there will be even a draft resolution to that effect.
The debate over the United States downing of the Iranian jet will continue in the Security Council tomorrow. Today, UN insiders feel that Vice President George Bush scored points for himself and the United States.
On the other side of the aisle, promising to fight on at the Democratic National Convention next week, the Reverend Jesse Jackson and hundreds of his supporters left for the Atlanta Convention today by bus. The bus caravan, dubbed the Jackson Action Rainbow Express, will make stops in major cities during the 3-day trip to Atlanta. Reverend Jackson, who was passed over for the second spot on the ticket, the Democratic ticket, will hold a demonstration on wheels against what he calls a power structure that excludes minorities, women, and workers. New York's Governor Mario Cuomo says Jesse Jackson should ease up on Mike Dukakis. During a news conference today in Manhattan, Cuomo said he's pretty certain that Dukakis tried to break the news of his vice presidential choice to Jackson ahead of time, but that Jackson couldn't be reached.
Every Hispanic child. It would have been dumb for Mike Dukakis to insult Jesse Jackson, and he's very, very smart. It would have been ungracious for him to do it, and he's very, very gracious. He didn't do it.
The governor says despite threats to the contrary, he doesn't believe Jackson will do anything at all to hurt the Dukakis campaign at next week's Democratic Convention in Atlanta.
When we come back, Storm Field previews the weekend forecast.
And we have a bit of unwelcome news about interest rates. In a moment.
Why do so many folks say Hillshire Farm is America's best-tasting smoked sausage and Polska kielbasa? The secret's in the rich, dark color. Nobody else has it, because nobody else smokes sausage like Hillshire Farm smoked sausage. It's slow smoked over 4 different hardwoods for a rich, dark color that guarantees you the best-tasting smoked sausage that we can make. And that's no secret. Hillshire Farm. Taste while we're #1.
Mitsubishi.
Was the 1989 Galant voted Japan's car of the year, yes or no?
Yes, 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 yes.
does it offer active electronic suspension and anti-lock braking that Camry, Accord, and Stanza don't?
Yes, 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 yes.
Galant quality starts at just $10,719. What about the others?
No, 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 no.
Is the all-new 89 Galant at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer now?
Yes, 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 yes.
Would you want to be told if your former sexual partner had contracted AIDS? Do you think your local police department should have a list of suspected AIDS carriers? On the next Oprah Winfrey Show, we debate whose freedom we should protect, privacy of the AIDS patient or their former sexual partners, and law enforcement officers. AIDS privacy debate on the next Oprah Winfrey Show. Tomorrow at 4, followed by Eyewitness News here on Channel 7.
Beers keep pouring in from all over the world, but the best beer still comes from Germany. And the best German beer in America is Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Fantastic Sam's 2,000 family franchises throughout the United States, Canada, Japan, Hong Kong, and Australia salute the great American dream. The dream of owning your own business, of being your own boss. Call Fantastic Sam's Family Franchise Headquarters today to find out how you can own your own great American dream. Call 201-359-0073. Franchises available worldwide.
Police in Kingston, New York tonight are calling the murder of a 19-year-old black woman racially motivated. The body of Anna Kithcart was found Tuesday in an old railroad bed behind Kingston Hospital. The letters KKK scratched on the body with a sharp instrument. So far, police in the Catskills area town have no suspects in the murder, but they have arrested a man and charged him with sexually abusing the dead woman's body. Although they label the murder racially motivated, Kingston police declined to link it with a controversial Tawana Brawley case. Both the FBI and the state attorney general have been called in to help investigate the killing.
Price of money is going up. Chase Manhattan and Citibank both raised their prime interest rates today by half a point, up to 9.5%, and that's the highest the prime rate has been in 3 years. This comes a day after Alan Greenspan, the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, said the Fed would tighten credit if the booming economy headed toward inflation. Bottom line, the likelihood of higher interest rates for everything we borrow money to buy, everything from autos to xylophones. The stock market did not seem very frightened by the threat of higher interest rates. The Dow Jones Industrials closed at 2113.62, up 9.25 points on active trading. 172,410,000 shares were traded on the New York Stock Exchange.
Well, we had heavy and hot numbers today in the weather. I mean,
one more time.
I wish this stuff would go away.
Well, it's not going to go away very quickly. As a matter of fact, it's not going to go away for a while. The latest 30-day outlook indicates more of the same hot weather to continue over the next month. But we've got some showers headed our way, and they could be potentially dangerous ones if they show up the way they have upstate. We'll show you that in just a little bit. Temperatures outside right now, 87 degrees, humidity 59%. Barometric pressure, falling winds right now from the south at 10 miles an hour. Our high for today, 90 degrees again, second day in a row at that level. 69 the low. Again, for this time of year, the normal split is 85-68, so we were running about 3 degrees above normal for this time of year. Record high for the date, 1954, 158, the record low, 1926. Air quality today was fine. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit better. As you look at the map today, this is the controlling factor right in here, a frontal line, leading edge of a cold front that is going to be dropping its way across us. As it does, it is stirring up a lot of activity out to the north and west of us, moving up around Albany, some of the counties north of Albany, reporting some very heavy thunder shower activity, moving to southern Vermont, western Massachusetts, and moving southward towards us at about 30 miles an hour. Also, as you head out towards Binghamton, some very heavy thunder shower activity, resulting some power lines down, some homes destroyed, roofing of several houses destroyed. No reports of any injuries as a result. So this is a very strong situation, although it seems to be petering out just a little bit as it heads south. It just bears watching, and there's a very good chance we will have some scattered boomers and some heavy showers making their way through here later on before midnight. Back in here, a little bit of a cooling off trend, but not enough to really help us that much. The satellite picture showing you the line of heavy showers. Look at this large outbreak back in here. That's what we're going to be watching. A little bit less intense as you move north. For us, the forecast does look a little bit better after these showers tonight. The clearing will occur overnight. Temperatures dropping into the I would say the low 70s, upper 60s, which is quite mild again for this time of year. Tomorrow, a picture very much like today, sunny and warm. Temperatures again around 90 degrees, not quite as humid as it was today. It's going to be clear and seasonable tomorrow evening, but it's still warmer than normal. And then the 5-day forecast, again, temperatures staying quite warm for this time of year, and the humidity on the rise as we head into Saturday. But the sunshine and the heat stays with us.
Okay, Storm, and when we come back, speaking of heat, Corey MACPHERRIN is going to tell us about some hot hoops tonight at City College of New York, featuring some of the best players in New York.
And Walter Hudson weighs in again and shows some impressive results.
Toyota's really big sales event is really big. And like these sporty Toyota Celicas, it's also going fast. Oh, nice wheels. And so now's the time to see your Toyota dealer and get the lowdown. Special option packages could save you more than ever on Celicas. So get out of your seat and get going.
Really big deals, really big selection. Toyota's really big sales event is on now.
Let's cruise.
Has Sizzler changed some things?
Yeah, they have changed some things.
I like it here.
Sizzler,
steak and all-you-can-eat shrimp.
Oh, look at those shrimp, Jody. Come on now, eat up. You too. Jody, is your plate still full? Come on, honey.
Steak and all-you-can-eat shrimp.
Sweetie, just eat one for Mommy.
Proof there is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Sizzler.
WESTBURY, Wayne, and now Paramus. It's Fortunoff's Backyard Clearance, our largest yet, up to 75% off. Every pipe set is on sale up to 63% off. Like this 5-piece set, only $199. Every redwood set is on sale up to 60% off. Like this one, now only $119. And patio umbrellas up to 70% off. Like these cranklet textiline umbrellas, only $69. WESTBURY, Wayne, and now Paramus.
There are calories and calories. A Tic Tac, for instance, has just 1.5. Lifesavers and Breath Savers, on the other hand, have more than 7 calories each. So eating one of these instead of one of these can add up to maybe hundreds of extra calories in a month. Those aren't my kind of calories. My kind of Tic Tacs, 1.5. The kind you can burn off making dinner reservations, hailing cabs, breathing.
The British are teed off. The British Open. Corey MACPHERRIN in sports.
Seve's not teed off, I can tell you that. He's smiling tonight. Seve Ballesteros hasn't won a major golf tournament in 4 years. Off to a terrific start today at the British Open, 4 under 67. He leads Wayne Grady and Brad Faxon by 2 strokes. Typical British weather. Rainy, windy, cool, but somehow doesn't bother old Seve, who won the first of his 2 British Open titles on the same Royal Lytham and St. Anne's course 9 years ago. Watch this shot. Nice job, Seve. One of your better putting efforts from Lee Trevino, far left of your screen, just off this monster-sized green, right on the money, but bounces through the cup. Lee with a 75 today. Slightly easier shot for this future British Open champion. Shows us all how it's done. Jolly good shot. All right, changing of the guard at Fenway Park within the hour 15 minutes ago. Maybe Red Sox say so long to manager John McNamara. Kind of strange timing at the end of the All-Star break. No real surprise, though. Red Sox expected to challenge for the AL East title. 9 games off the pace right now. McNamara, who'd been at the helm for 3.5 seasons, replaced on an interim basis by third base coach Joe Morgan, not to be confused with the former Red Star by the same name. The Yankees, who know all about midseason managerial maneuvers, crank up the second half tonight at the stadium against the White Sox. Candelaria will take on Royce. The Mets, who lost 5 of 6 heading to the break, hope to explode tonight in Atlanta. Ron Darling will go for the Mets. Rick Mailer for the Braves. Well, baseball back at Wrigley today. Dodgers and Cubs. Tim Leary for L.A. Second inning base hit drives in Jeff Hamilton. Turns out to be the game's only run. Leary would strike out 6, including Jim Sundberg here. 1-0 Dodgers take it. Game 2, L.A. leads 4-3 in the 6th inning. Well, if you love your hoops, if you're a basketball maniac, head out to CCNY tonight. Regular season championship of the Ultra Star NBA Pro-Am League. The products of the city playgrounds like Chris Mullen and Mark Jackson going head-to-head. live to the gym right now. And there's Chris. Chris, this is like a who's who of the playground schoolyard basketball in New York City, isn't it? A lot of guys out there.
Well, how you doing, Corey?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun up here. I think Mark is on his way. He was going to try and get here, but he should be on his way. We got Mark, I think Pearl. Eddie Pickney's playing with us tonight, so we get a good run. It's really good. It's been a lot of fun.
Chris, I talked to Mark Jackson. He tells me he's averaging 50 points a game. Are you going to guard him tonight in this championship thing?
I don't think he's gotten under 50 yet, but no, I'm not going to guard him tonight. He shoots too much for me in the summer. I'm going to try and get my 50 if he's getting his.
Hey, Chris, wouldn't you like to come back and play ball alongside Mark Jackson maybe sometime next year, year after? What do you think?
Yeah, we played an all-star game together down in Philly against the Baker League, and you know, it's just a pleasure playing with a guy like Mark. You know, maybe in the future we'll see what happens.
You still like to come back, Chris?
Yeah, I love New York. This is my home. This is where I love to be. Like I said, things are going pretty well for me now. I'm taking real good care of myself, and that's the main thing. That's the main important thing. I enjoy playing again, and you know, we'll see what happens in the near future.
All right, Chris. Best of luck. Good luck tonight, too.
All right, Corey. Thanks.
All right. CCNY Jim will have highlights tonight, hopefully at 11 o'clock. See you, gentlemen, then.
Thank you very much, Corey. Just about all of us have tried to lose weight at one time or another. I have 5, 10, maybe even 20 pounds. But Walter Hudson of Hempstead, Long Island, has a bigger goal. He wants to lose more than 1,200 pounds. Today, he inched a little closer to that goal, dropping 1,400 to 564 pounds since last October.
562. 560. Now I know my weight, what my weight is right now, and now I know how hard that I have to work to get it down to the 190.
How hard do you have to work now?
24 hours a day.
It was last October when Walter Hudson's weight problem made headlines. He's been on a liquid diet ever since then. Besides losing the excess pounds, Hudson has another goal: to help other obese people.
Finally, Robert Munger is 16 years old. He's a lifeguard at a neighborhood pool in Westlake Village, California. He was swimming after his day's work was done the other evening, and two 11-year-old girls sitting beside the pool noticed that he'd been underwater for 5 or 6 minutes. That didn't seem right, so the two girls dove in and found him unconscious at the bottom of the pool. They pulled him up, got his head above water, and some boys playing baseball ran over and pulled him out of the water. The paramedics got there in time, and Robert Munger will be back at work guarding other lives because two 11-year-old girls were able to save his life.
I'm John Johnson. Have a good night.
That's our report for tonight. Stay tuned for World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Tonight, more on George Bush at the UN and the story of Iranian Flight 655. For John Johnson, Corey MACPHERRIN, Storm Field, for all of us at Eyewitness News, I'm Bill Beutel. Thank you very much for being with us this evening. Good luck and be well.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. In the UN Security Council today...